So let's spend this first hour at least talking about Iowa, since people are now going to the caucus in order to make their voices known and vote. And so I want to say to our friends in Iowa, what are you going to do? You're going to pick Washington, D.C.'s favorite candidate, Nikki Haley, just endorsed by the former liberal governor of Maryland, endorsed by the former liberal governor of New Hampshire, backed by Charles Koch, who has spent his entire life fighting for open borders. And also Nikki Haley has used, in the case of Iowa, enormous sums of money to persuade Democrats and independents to change their party affiliation, which they're allowed to do as they go to the caucus, and then change it back. Is that what Republicans want? And then they have the voices in D.C. at the think tanks, former Bush speechwriters, Rove, these guys, telling us she's the one who can beat Biden head-to-head by 10 points. Ladies and gentlemen, it's January. Nobody can beat nobody by 10 points. Everybody can beat everybody by 10 points. Utterly and completely irrelevant. Irrelevant. But here's what they can't tell us, because Nikki Haley can't tell us. 3, 4, 5 profound, important things she did as governor of South Carolina. She and her PACs have spent tens of millions of dollars on negative ads trying to define Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. That's it. And so what she's been doing now for the last 3, 4 weeks is trying to allow the media to cover her tracks for and carry the ball for, and same with her endorsements. And I'm going to prove it to you. If you're a Republican and you want to be a nominee of the Republican Party, a center-right party that ought to be a right party, that is conservative, constitutional republicanism, can't you answer a question clearly on whether a man can become a woman or not? If you can't answer a question that's so obvious, biological, then it's obvious you're not one of us. And ladies and gentlemen, she's so reliant now on Democrats crossing over, on independents crossing over. There are billionaires and there are political action committees. Billionaire Democrats who are going to vote for Biden. Billionaire political action committees raising dark money, pushing Democrats to vote in the Republican caucus and the Republican primary in other states. So who's going to choose our nominee, Iowa? The talking heads in Washington, D.C.? The talking heads in the media? Uniparty and Democrat billionaires, Democrat political action committees, they don't even hide what they're doing. And Nikki Haley is completely sold out to these interests. She's completely sold out to the corporatists. She's completely sold out. She's completely, forget it, I'm watching TV. She's completely sold out to the businesses that like illegal immigration. She doesn't even talk about it. She barely even comments on it. Can a man become a woman? Nikki Haley was asked this today. Hat tip, X, cut 26, go.
A lot of the stuff that Trump does, and says really bothers me, and I'm concerned about it. One thing. By the way,
I have no idea who this guy is, and I don't much care because he's not relevant. It's what she says it is. Go ahead.
He said that, he had trouble answering the question, could a man become a woman? And I'm just wondering what your response to that question is.
Yeah, I think, first of all, let's look at the fact. Again, I'm sorry that we didn't make it to Dubuque, and I hate that we're not there, but I appreciate you coming on here. Look, I have said, I want to start with Trump and then get to the question. This is a hard truth on my part. I believe Trump was the right president at the right time. I agree with a lot of his policies.
All right, stop a minute. Notice he didn't ask her a thing about this. And how many of you care about any of this bloviating? She will do anything, we'll pick it up, anything to avoid basic issues, anything. The answer is, of course a man can't become a woman. A man can alter his genitalia. That doesn't make him a woman. That's the answer. It's that simple, Iowa, and she won't answer it. Just like when she was governor of South Carolina, she wouldn't sign the bathroom bill that said men go to men's rooms and women go to women's rooms. And when she was called out on it by DeSantis, she accused him of lying, and yet after the fact it was obvious she was lying. There's the problem. She is a fictional candidate. She is a creation that everybody can pour their own belief system into. Be very careful. Go.
Chaos follows him. And everybody on this call knows that. And we can't be a country in disarray in a world.
Let me just stop there. Chaos follows Trump. Oh, I see. He's indicted. They call him Hitler. He tries to secure the border. He does all these things for the American people in this country. And he's creating chaos. How's he creating chaos? He's responding to these outrageous lawsuits. This is the problem, Nikki. They're creating chaos. The Democrats, the media, they're creating the chaos. Not the victim. She has spent nearly $15 million trashing Ron DeSantis in Iowa. She has spent more money trashing DeSantis in Iowa than DeSantis and Trump have spent altogether in Iowa. These PACs are loading up the attacks. Why? Because they want to front load victories for her or expectations for her in Iowa and New Hampshire. She goes into South Carolina. They're trying to create a juggernaut. They're trying to manufacture momentum. That's all this is. That's why they want the Democrats in. That's why they want the independents in. That's what's going on. Go ahead.
Through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. And I think a lot of that is how he communicates and what happens. It just sets us all in disarray.
Why do the Democrats want you to be the nominee? Why do the media want you to be the nominee? Why don't you talk about yourself for once? And where you stand rather than trashing other people. You know, she's the nastiest candidate in this race. They can talk about Trump. They can talk about whomever she wants. She trashes Vivek. She trashes Ron. She trashes Trump. And if you dare try and lay a hand on her, she uses the woman card. Like Fannie Willis uses the race card. They just don't want a strong woman. I'm married to a strong woman, you nitwit. Go ahead.
President Kamala Harris. Now, can a man become a woman? There's been a lot that's been talked about when it comes to all of these roles and all of these issues. We want to make sure people can live any way they want to live. I don't think government needs to be in control of anybody's life. You go live the way you want to live. You should be free to live the way you want to live. And government.
Let's
and
stop it. Has anybody said live the way you shouldn't live the way you want to live? Has anybody said, look, if you're a man and you want to mutilate yourself, go for it. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. Same with a woman and so forth. That's not the issue. The issue is whether our children are going to be taught this. The issue is whether we have books about this in our schools. The issue whether this is a civil rights movement. The issue is whether we have to embrace it. If Ernie Grabotsky wants to go over there and do whatever he wants to do, nobody gives a damn. That doesn't make it a national issue. That doesn't make it a cultural issue. When they try and, impose it on everybody, that makes it an issue. So, again, a red herring. Go ahead.
Your way. I think that, you always have to believe in freedom and allowing people to live the life the way they want to live. And if that's how they choose, then, I don't think government should have any say in that.
Did anybody hear, can a man become a woman? Not whether a man cuts off his genitalia or what. Can a man become a woman? The answer is no. No, it's a simple word. No. And she couldn't say it. And she wouldn't say it. And she won't say it. If Iowans disappoint, New Hampshireites disappoint, and South Carolinians disappoint, what do we have here? A standard bearer for what? What's the mandate going to be? I'm a woman. Don't vote for chaos. I will unite you. Aren't you sick of BS? You people in Iowa who are going to these caucuses, It's my understanding it's freezing. It is beyond freezing. You're going to go to a facility to voice your opinion and vote for this? Seriously. Why would you do that? And I would ask the folks in Iowa, what do you have in common with the governor of Maryland? Nothing. What do you have in common with the governor of New Hampshire, these ex-Republicans? Nothing. Zero. Bill Kristol said if she's the nominee, he would vote for her. Doesn't it tell you everything you need to know? Bill Kristol is a complete reprobate. Why is it that Democrat billionaires, that Democrat operatives, that Republican establishment types in Washington, D.C., coming out of think tanks, coming out of their little, whatever the hell little jobs they get, their grifter jobs, why is it that they're all backing Nikki? She talks about Trump, that 99% of the ads she ran were against DeSantis, not Trump. She didn't say no if Trump were to ask her to be vice president. DeSantis said no. She's a ladder climber. That's what she is. You and I, we say to each other constantly, what the hell's going to happen to this country if we lose? Ask yourself this. What the hell happens to this country after all the money spent, all the battles are fought, all the votes are cast, and we get a Nikki Haley? To me, she's sounding not more and more like George W. Bush. She's literally sounding to me more and more like Mitt Romney. She is not a conservative. Larry Hogan knows that. Chris Sununu knows that. Chris Christie knows it. The Bush people on TV, they know it. Our buddy Karl Rove, he knows it. These are people who never supported Ronald Reagan, let alone Donald Trump. And they would never support Ron DeSantis if he were the nominee. They're not conservatives. They're long in the tooth Republican apparatchiks. This is how you get the support, or at least favorable opinions, from the Wall Street Journal editorial page. This is how you get favorable opinions from our friends at National Review. This is how you get favorable coverage from cable network after cable network after cable network. Listen to what the Democrats are telling you. They want to pick our nominee. Iowa, listen to what they're saying. And anybody who tells you, and this is the new line, the polls tell you nothing. Polls tell us we had a landslide last election, but we didn't. And imagine polling caucuses, which is an impossibility. It's an impossibility. And they're always wrong. And there's always a surprise winner. Maybe not this time, but certainly in the past. Ted Cruz, Rick Santorum. But Nikki Haley doesn't really give a crap about what's going on in Iowa. She wants Iowa as a stepping stone to New Hampshire. And then she wants New Hampshire as a stepping stone to South Carolina. And then she wants all the media, all the cable channels, all the commentators, all the media to announce, to declare, to proclaim she can be president of the United States. Why? Why? Why do they always talk superficially? Politics. Why? Why conservatives? Why Republicans? Why would we pick somebody that the Democrats want to run against, despite what they say on cable TV and network TV? Why? You know damn well why. She will not take on these American Marxists. She will not take on the FBI and the Department of Justice. She will not fight to the bitter end to secure that border. She will not reverse much of what Biden has done. She'll play it safe and easy. That's what she's always done.